If we all had time, we would slow down. We would make more considered decisions. We would be more collaborative with our peers within and outside of the organization. So that seems like it's a little bit of the first lesson that we're going to learn here, but elaborate a little bit more about now that you've been doing this for a while.
So, the very first thing I remember learning is two of my first responsibilities were one, I had to revamp the new hire orientation and I had to develop a training program. So, it wasn't just me going in there and deciding this is how I want to do new hire orientation and this is what my training program should be like, which is what I would have done at the for profit. I would have just gotten some resources together, wrote it together into some kind of document, pushed it out. Maybe I would have talked to my boss about it, and that was it. So with this job, when I came in, I had to develop work groups or task force for both of those different initiatives. And I had to pull people in from all different areas of the agency so I could get their opinion on what new hire orientation should look like or what the training program should look like. I needed them to bring ideas to the table that were going to affect the people in their departments. And we had to come up with a product that had different thought processes and ways of doing things from all the different departments in the organization. And then you develop that with that group, you put something together, and then you roll it out to a test group of staff. You see how it goes. If you get feedback from that, if it works, that's great. You roll it out to the rest of the organization, or you go back to the drawing board if that doesn't work for the population that you tried it with. It was very hard for me at first because I was so used to moving so quickly and just getting things done. But now, as I'm here almost 20 years later, I realized how incredibly beneficial that is. Because one thing I've learned in my career is that when you have buy in from different people, it motivates them to be part of it and to be your advocate and your cheerleader for whatever you're rolling out. So, in a mission driven organization, that's exactly what you need. You need everyone bought into what you're doing because everything is about what are we doing and how is it bought into our mission that we're working for. So that was really eye opening. And just once I was in that groove, I realized I wasn't going to do anything without understanding that it had to be a very collaborative process. I know that you can't make it absolutely perfect because at the end of the day, no matter how much collaboration you have, not every single person is going to buy into it. And that's what you just have to work with. You have to work with to the exception to the rule. So that's a great point. And I also think it's really important that when you do these work groups or task force, whatever you do, you also tell that the people that you're working with, like, I want your opinions and I want your ideas, but let me be clear that we may not be able to do everything that you recommend because when you're coming to these work groups, you are supposed to be putting on your agency hat rather than your department hat. But sometimes they're coming to the table and something that works well for this particular group of staff is not going to work for the other group of staff. And so those are the things you have to work through. You do have to make it very clear that we're going to try to integrate everyone's thoughts and ideas. But at the end of the day, sometimes us as the HR professionals have to make that decision as to which way we want to go.